So hopefully this is a cool project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install LED lights underneath the cabinets. I have a radio here, so I'm going to stop short on this side and just go underneath the two left cabinet doors there. And then there's three sections over here in the corner. There's right of the microwave, there's a corner section, and then there's another straight section underneath the coffee pot. And then over here there is a straight section to the left of the microwave. Speaking of microwave, there is a receptacle above the microwave that the microwave is plugged into, and I'm going to use that as the power source. Alright, let's see, we're looking at $268 to do this, and what this consists of is this consists of tracks. Then there is a transformer. It should have a rectifier in it. It really doesn't say it does, but I didn't see any blinking on the lights when I tested it out. So we have a transformer. What we're going to do is we're going to drop it down to 24 volts. We have all these connectors here that plug into the transformer, and then the other end, you can see it's this little flat piece, and I'll show you that. The other end connects onto the LED strip. I also went to the hardware store and purchased some doorbell wire. You can also use thermostat wire. And of course the LED strip. So you measure out how much you need and you buy the strip accordingly. And what you can do is, well, on this end you can see there's a wire soldered onto it, so that'll be the start of the project. But every 4 inches there is a cut line, so you can cut it there every 4 inches across the copper contacts that you see there. And what those contacts are for is for this connector. And the way this connector works, it has two little contact points, and you slide it over so it comes in contact with your two copper connectors. Now what's really important is, if you can see the positive and negative. Also, I know it's difficult to see white on white, but this will tell you positive and negative. So you need to make sure everything's lined up, because LEDs are sensitive to polarity because they're DC, and so AC is alternating, it flips back and forth. DC is direct, so you need to get your direct positive and your direct negative oriented correctly throughout the entire project. Now I've tried making flashlight videos, car headlight videos, just all kinds of LED videos, and the camera really does not give you the wow factor in how bright or dim or what color it is. I'm going to plug these in and see the camera kind of self-adjusts. So we got all our LEDs working. And so I wanted to give you one other bit of information. When you use these connectors, it kind of snaps into the runway here, or the tracks if you will, so that kind of helps a little bit. So I got this piece cut. It's 24 inches to go underneath that cabinet to the left of the microwave. I'm going to mount that, and I'm going to drill a hole through there for this lead to go through. So it'll be something along this line with a hole right here, or a slot cut out for the wires to go up into the cabinet. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a terminal strip. So I'm going to have my power coming in, and then all my LEDs coming out, so my positive and negative. And what you do is you just push on this end like a rocker switch, and that allows you to open it up. You stick your wire in there, and then on the other side you stick your wires in there, and you don't have to do any soldering or anything. Now, one trick the guy at the store told me, I didn't buy this online, I went to the local light store, if you will, and he told me to cut the ends off and just use the wires. He said that way you don't need to have 4, 5, 6 adapters trying to come into one power outlet. So one last thing, actually a couple of last things. One of them is these strips come with 3M. They're VBH. Well, the 3M VBH is very high strength bond. That's what very high strength bond is, what that means. And so you just peel this off, stick it, but I'm going to stick it to the track. A lot of people just stick it directly to the wood. I chose to run it on a track, and then also I chose to put it back behind the lip on my cabinets. Let me show you that. So what you'll see in a lot of catalogs is they'll mount them right to the edge underneath here, and the reason they do that is they want to show their product. So I don't care about seeing the LED strip there. As a matter of fact, I think it's probably distracting and ugly, but if you'll notice, there's a lip right here, so right there. So I'm going to mount behind this lip that's in front of the cabinets here, and then the light's going to be directed down. That'll also cut off any glaring effect coming down this way. LEDs are pretty direct, so this will kind of help out a little bit with the way the light is projected. So real quick, I'll show you my terminal strip. See, you just depress it, which relieves the tension. You plug it in, and there you go. So I'm going to have my power leads come in here, and then I'm going to have all of my strips come out here, and the wires will be running to where they need to go. So one of my cuts is 21 inches, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off 1 inch down at the end so that my 21 inches falls on the other side of the screw, so that I can have 4 screws going into this 21 inch section. So everybody's situation is going to be different, but the one thing that the guy at the store told me that is like the #1 tip is to cut off the ends. If you try and use these adapter things here, you're gonna run into problems, and that they all just won't connect up very well. And you know, mine's broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segments. So I'm gonna have 5 separate cuts. So tying that all in with these guys right here is just going to be a logistic nightmare. So the big thing to remember is cut off the ends, keep track of the positive and negative, and have at it. So I ended up using AC dimmer switch. It's just a lamp switch is what they call it, as my on-off switch, and mounted it underneath the cabinet here to control it. And the reason for that is the 10 feet of LEDs and all the wirings overloaded the dimmer switch, and so I just basically burned it out. Too much wattage, I guess, was needed, and so I had to go with that. And here we are, final product. So we have our lights all the way around. Of course, there's a light underneath the microwave, and then there's a light, track light, hidden underneath the sink if we need it. So project complete.